Hello everyone, my name is Matthew Joker, and today we are diving back into electoral science, specifically a quick survey of the modern proportional representation systems that are used throughout the world. To begin with, let's start with this quick quote from John Adams. I'm not here to read it out to you, but the key part is that he believes that any legislature should accurately reflect the people it represents. He, of course, then, with the other founders, came up with a system of election for the House, which was pretty much duplicated in Canada. I think just about everyone would agree that Canada is, relatively speaking, a well-functioning democracy. Yet, let's look at the election they had last year. This image is from Fairvote.ca, and you can see an issue. The Liberal Party, that's Trudeau's party, got almost 50% more seats than they deserved. Parties like the NDP got about half of what they deserved, and the Greens got about a sixth of it. That just feels off. How can we avoid a disconnect like this? Well, as you may have guessed from the title of this talk, the answer is to look at proportional electoral systems. These are defined as systems that try to make it so that if a party gets N% support, it should have roughly N% of seats. If that seems a bit ill-defined to you, then yeah, it kind of is. But I think it's pretty clear for most of us what this meant. There are three primary ways we can go about achieving proportional representation. There are three families of voting systems because all of them have a number of different parameters. The easy one is something called party list. Party list is, for all intents and purposes, the naive implementation of our previous definition of proportional representation. Voters vote directly for the parties, and the parties have lists of candidates that are elected. That is pretty simple. Now, I'm going to preempt a question right here, because I'm sure people are wondering how you convert raw votes to actual seat numbers. The truth is, there are a lot of different ways you can do it. You've got the Maschine method, Huntington-Hare, Webster, Least-Remainders-Hare, Least-Remainders-Stroop, D'Hondt, or however you pronounce that, and Least-Remainders-Imperiale. Some of these aren't even technically proportional, but they've all been used. Now, an actually interesting aspect of the party list system has to involve which candidates from the various lists actually get elected. There are three main ways this happens. Under the closed list system, voters just vote directly for the party. The order the candidates get elected is the order in which they appear on the party list. This is predetermined, usually by the party. This is, in many ways, again, the naive implementation, and it's been used to fairly good effect. Now, under open list systems, voters can instead vote directly for a candidate. They can just give them an approval, which proves to their parties. And this leads to a fair and natural ordering. The candidates with the most votes are elected first. This is a bit more involved than closeness and is used to very good success in a lot of countries in Europe. Third, and most complex, is a system called panachage, I believe it's pronounced, which is an openness system, except now you get multiple votes per ballot, and you can distribute those votes between various individual candidates or parties with no restriction that they all come from the same party. I believe the system is used in Luxembourg and some German states. It's pretty solid. The other main concern for party systems is whether or not they have a threshold. It's pretty self-explanatory what one is, but it's just a requirement that parties have to have a certain percent of the vote before they're eligible to be awarded seats. This is to keep out minuscule fringe parties from gaining seats via some edge case in the allocation system. Turkey, for example, defines a very high threshold of 10%. Germany and New Zealand, though they aren't quite party-less systems, have a much more common 5% threshold. The Netherlands has almost no threshold, with it being at 0.2%. And Israel, well, they've been changing their threshold a lot. 1%, 1.5%, 2%, and now 3.25%. The key takeaway you need to have about thresholds is that the higher they are, the higher the proportion of wasted votes. These are votes to parties that just don't get any candidates elected. Again, the goal is to keep fringe parties out, but sometimes you just go too far. There was one Turkish election where about 40% of the vote went to parties with under 10% support. Now, to many people, the partyless system rubs them the wrong way, among other things, such as giving too much control to parties and such. It doesn't really have any bit of local representation, and it's absolutely prohibitive to independent candidates. So, that brings us to the second main family of systems, mixed member proportional systems, also known as additional member systems. These are the medium difficulty systems. The key innovation behind MMP systems is that voters get 2 votes. They have one for a local representative or representatives if their local constituency is multi-member, and they have a national political party vote. And what happens is, first of the local constituencies are filled, and then the remainder of the seats will go to party candidates in a manner to make the overall composition proportional. Usually those local constituencies or single winner, first past the post, which, if you watch my video on single winner systems, is really not great, but the compensatory seats make it relatively work. At first glance, MMP seems strictly better than party list. After all, you're still getting the same proportional results, while you're also getting local choice for the elected candidates. Which begs the question, what's the catch? Otherwise, everyone would be using the system. Well, catch number one has to do with things called overhang seats. This is when a party wins more seats than it's entitled to by the national vote. For example, if they do really well in a bunch of local seats. There are about 3 ways to solve this problem. First off, you can just let them keep the overhang seats and do nothing else. They count as extra, additional to the original number of seats. This means the party has a somewhat higher proportion than they should, and it slightly enlarges the legislature, but it's usually okay. Option 2 is that you can let them keep the overhang seats and subtract that number of seats from all the other parties. This will be even less proportional, but it will maintain the size of the legislature. And finally, you can go to the other extreme. Add as many seats as you want up until there are no more overhang seats. This will fully restore proportionality, but it could create a massive number of extra seats. This doesn't really feel like a deal breaker of a problem, though, more an annoying setback. The bigger, more serious issue with MMP systems is that they have this kind of structural issue involving tactical voting. What happens is that a party that's very strong at the constituent level may notice that it's not going to win many list seats, and it can get around this in a very tricky way by basically splitting itself into the constituency candidates won't contest the list seats at all. They'll be their own thing. Meanwhile, the party will either via literally splitting itself or by allying with minor parties separately contest the list seats. In effect, the goal is to make the voters split their local and party votes. This allows the party to win a much larger effective number of seats. This isn't a theoretical concern either. It does happen in the real world, sometimes to quite awful effect. In Albania, for example, the major parties collectively decided again to not contest the party vote and had their voters vote for a bunch of minor allies. This horrifically destroyed the result to the point that Albania gave up on MMP and switched back to party list. This issue, as I mentioned, is kind of endemic to all MMP systems, and it is difficult to legislate against. You can resolve most cases, but not all of them. Now, in fairness to various MMP systems, there have been a number of attempts to improve it to avoid some of these issues. Two cases I think are worth highlighting are the German states/cities of Hamburg and Baden-Württemberg. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Hamburg uses a non-standard MMP system that works as follows. The local constituencies are all 3 to 5 members, then they are elected by 5-vote panachage, or however you pronounce that. So this already means the local results will be semi-proportional, not entirely, but not horribly off. And then the party vote is also done by 5-vote panachage. The end result of this is that you really don't have nearly as much of an issue with overhang seats. So that's a pretty good innovation. Baden-Württemberg, meanwhile, takes a stab at the issue of the vote splitting and decoy lists. So the base system is more or less the same as usual. Single winner, first past the post constituencies. However, there are no party lists, or rather, the list consists of their defeated constituency candidates, rather than by going to someone arbitrarily appointed by the party. The list constituencies are filled by the candidates who, while they didn't win, still did relatively well in the local elections. This completely shuts down the tactic of decoy lists. So there is still plenty of room to explore MMP in the future. Now, many people still don't feel comfortable with the role of parties in MMP systems, even though it's reduced from party-less systems. So, how can we do away with them entirely? Well, there is a way, of course, and it is the well-known single transferable vote, by far the most complex method in use today. Under the single transferable vote, voters just write their candidates. It starts off counting towards their first preference, and as various candidates are eliminated, the vote gets transferred to backup preferences. Now, if that sounds like instant runoff voting, that's because it is. IOV is the single winner case of STV. Before we go on, I need to add a quick sidebar here about the history of STV, because in spite of its complexity, the first proposal for something resembling it actually came from 1819 by this guy named Thomas right here. And the first concrete proposal came in 1855. It was actually used in Denmark to elect the Riksdag, if I pronounce that right. However, no one remembers those because the original implementation that we all use today came independently from an English barrister named Thomas Hare. Okay, history sidebar over. Now, all STV systems basically have the same outline. The first thing that happens is that you determine the minimum number of votes that are required to win a seat. This is called the quota. Then, if any candidate achieves the quota, they are elected immediately on the spot. And then in most systems, Any surplus vote, anything they got over the quota, gets transferred to one of the backup preferences. Now, that's not technically a mandated part of the system. I believe there are some places in South Africa that don't use it. However, just about every system does. So, now you have to check if more candidates than seats remain. And at that point, you just eliminate the guy with the fewest votes. The votes are transferred, and we check again, and keep doing it until all the seats are filled, or there are only as many remaining candidates as there are unfilled seats, in which case they win by default. That doesn't sound too bad on the face of it, but the devil is in the detail. Key issue number one is what exactly the quota is. The original implementation of STV used something called the Hare quota, which was votes cast divided by available seats. That seems pretty straightforward. If there are 2 seats available, you have to win half of the votes. That seems reasonable. But no one actually uses that anymore. They use the group quota here, which is votes cast over available seats plus 1, all plus 1. If that sounds a bit weird to you, that's because it's extrapolating from the 50% plus 1 formula that we use for regular elections. Now, there are reasons for why this shift occurred. Maybe one day I will understand them. If you want to take a stab at it, here is a quick summary. The next major hurdle for actually implementing STV has to deal with that surplus transfer that I mentioned. If you're going through with that step, which just about everyone does, you've got to determine which votes get transferred when the surplus occurs. And there are 2 main ways you can do that. Option 1 is that among all the votes the candidate gets, you just pick a random quota source and say, this is their quota, everyone else transfers. Obviously, this isn't deterministic, but it can be done via hand counting. This is what they use in Ireland, and it works pretty well for them. If you want to get a reliable outcome that will never change, you have to use something called fractional exhaustion, wherein if a candidate gets double a quota, all of his votes get transferred, but with their value reduced by a factor of about a half. The actual formula is votes minus quota over votes, except not. You see, this is really just the high-level version. There are tons of different versions that take into account exhausting of ballots and secondary transfers. Those are in particular are handled by things called Weeks method. Now, there is one final strike against STV, and that is district magnitude, which is a way of saying the number of seats that are elected from each constituency. STV becomes what I call prohibitively opaque at about 10 member constituencies. Now, that's not to say that it can be done, but for example, the ballots become prohibitively large, and it becomes difficult to follow the transfer of votes as a layperson. Again, that's not to say that the system isn't working, it just becomes very hard to parse for the electorate. In fact, that 10-member constituency is almost never attained. Ireland and just about every other proposal for any other country uses 3 to 5-member constituencies, and that will harm your overall proportionality. Granted, it doesn't seem to harm it too much. Ireland's results are still pretty proportional, all things considered. But when you compare it to Party List and MMP, which can handle nationwide constituencies, well, you begin to see the deficit. All this comes to the uncomfortable truth, which you all really knew from the beginning. There is no best system. They all involve a bunch of different trade-offs. This is just as it was with single-winner elections. The big difference is that, well, there isn't nearly as much research into what constitutes an optimal system. Or at least, not yet. Any questions?